this unity that you're seeking.
Is the unity that we're seeking. I think sometimes when we peel away what's beneath it all, we come to more and more layers that need to be peeled. And I think there's something of a big question mark that stays there, because it is a mystery. It's the mysterium tremendum et fascinans, as Otto Rank put it. It's that which is truly mysterious. It's a true secret. The difference between a true secret and a false secret, and this is something that pops up in Chassidut and other philosophical traditions, is that a fake secret or an inauthentic secret is that once you've shared the secret, it's no longer a secret, which means that it's circumstantially a secret. It's a secret because it hasn't yet been shared.
This is the false secret.
This is a false secret. A true secret is one which is intrinsically, it's essentially a secret, which means even when you share it, it still remains a secret because it's not dependent on whether it's been shared or not. It's inherently secretive. It's that which is fundamentally esoteric. So that's one side of it. I want to begin by saying that it is a mystery, and I don't think we can ever articulate, certainly not while we're alive in our bodies. You know, the biblical verse says, "Lo yireni adam chai," that no human can see me and live. I think there are certain limitations that while we're in our present state of being, we cannot see the face of God. We cannot see to some extent. And yet, on the other hand, we know that Moses, for example, speaks to God face to face, right? So there's this paradox where there's both this great mystery that we cannot see, that it will destroy the categories of our being, it will eviscerate us entirely. But then there's also something that can be encountered. And so having first said that we can't say, now let's say what we can say. This is the apophatic and cataphatic, that which we can't say, that which we can say.
Yeah, what is it?
The cataphatic and the apophatic. It's Greek terms.
Okay.
It's theology of what we cannot say about God, yediat hashlila and yediat hachiyuv. What can we say about this unity? What we can say is firstly that I think it's something that we do experience. It's something that we know, and something that we know in our deepest self. There's, I think, to frame it like this, there's a general sense that we have of reality. That reality is broken up. It's fragmented. It's fragmented into past and future and present, fragmented into here and there, you know, the spatial separation, temporal separation. There's identity, there's my identity, which ends at a certain point. I'm not you, you're not me. This is a fragmented reality. This is what the Kabbalists call Alma de Pruda. It's the world of separation. And then there's a sense where that reality, that illusion, the helem, the illusion, the maya, can begin to fade away. And it can fade away for all kinds of reasons. It can happen through contemplation and meditation. It can happen through prayer. It can happen through, in moments of love. It can happen in sport, in war, with psychedelics. It can happen in nature, where the sense that who we are is somehow expanded, is somehow modified, and somehow mediated by something else, that there's something larger than us that we are participating in. There's something bigger than us, and that can mean that we're part of the ecosystem. We can feel ourselves melting into the forest. We're part of another person. If we're in love with someone, we can feel that where they end and we begins to be less defined. We can feel kindness toward a stranger, where we feel that their well-being is our deepest concern. This is sometimes called an ego death, where the sense of self that we usually have begins to melt away. And in that, we encounter something very blissful, and something which feels incredibly real and true, and feels truer than our ordinary reality. There's a verse in the book of Psalms that says that when the Messiah comes, we'll say about the days of exile like that we were like dreamers. That ordinary reality felt like a dream to us, and we've now woken up, we've been awakened. And that's the state of enlightenment, where we feel that what we thought was ourself is not really the self. And what we encounter in that dissolution, boundaries, is a sense of unity. And in that we have a sense of timelessness, right? There's a sense where things dilate and things move slower, where there's a moment which is present, which stretches out. This is what it says in the Talmud, that when the Messiah comes, these are all, I think, sort of coded references for the state of being, that there's Yom Shekuli Aruch, there's this day which is infinitely long, that time itself begins to dilate and stretch apart, because time...
Shabbat, yeah.
That's right. Another way of framing that we move into a time of perfection, time of Shabbat. And I think this is the unity which we're seeking for. And I think I don't know, but I think that this unity is reality itself. And I think that in Judaism, we call this unity God, or Elohim, Yud-Keh Vav-Keh. In Islam, we call it Allah. In Buddhism, it's a bit more complex because there's less of a positive formulation. It's more of a negative formulation of the emptiness of all being that's constantly spontaneously arising, shunyata.
What was the name?
Shunyata is the emptiness. I think that in each tradition, humans are experiencing this reality, and they're seeing that this reality is really the most Ta'amuru Kitav Hashem, says King David in the Book of Psalms, that you can taste it and see it. In Islam, it's dawuk, to taste the reality and see that it's good, and see that that is the blissful state of being that we want to be in. And that state of unity, I think, is what all the mystics are seeking. And they're in love with this unity. They're infatuated by it, and they want people to discover it for themselves. And I think that's the unity. And I think that we know what this unity is because we have intimations of it. We all have moments of that, where whether it's in a sunset or whether it's being overcome by a phenomenal work of art or poetry, whether it's in a moment of religious ecstasy, the birth of a child, these incredible moments where we feel somehow that what we thought was reality is somehow a veneer, and beneath that lies a deeply interconnected being, and where all of reality is deeply, deeply interwoven and interdependent upon one another. One of the most beautiful metaphors in Hinduism is Idra's web. It's this cosmic, like spider's web that has these little jewels, these little drops of dew that have fallen upon it, and each one is deeply connected with one another. And I think this is the vision that the mystics move towards, and I also think that it's the vision which in many ways science is moving towards, of a deeply, deeply interconnected cosmos. And I think that's the unity which they strive for, the great mystery of reality.
I also